Welcome to Mega Man Rock Force. I'm here with my pal Many Ninjas.
Hello everyone, this is not my channel, is it?
No, unfortunately. But, like your channel, which has a lot of Mega Man featurettes on it, this is a Mega Man featurette, and we plan on doing a playthrough of Mega Man Rock Force. However, the large difference between this and any other playthrough of this game is that we're using one Robot Master for the entire thing, since you do unlock playable characters as you rescue them in this game. The goal is to do a playthrough with each playable character from the minute you can get them, and to provide thorough insight into how they play and enjoyable commentary.
In this case, we kind of did everything off camera a bit in order to decide the order of how everyone's going to be picked.
Yep.
And based on that order, it turns out it's going to be Justice for All to begin with, as the first Robot Master we got was Fireman of all people.
Yeah, very interesting first choice. He should be very fun. As future playthroughs come on, I will be changing things up like stage difficulty, boss difficulty, and such. The first 4 Robot Masters, including this that I play as, will just have normal difficulty. Every playthrough following the first one will be using... Since this game has OGG files that you can actually swap for music, I'll be changing the music up to keep things from getting a bit bland. Even though I love this game and its music, I do think that having the ability to do custom soundtracks is really cool. So I'll be taking advantage of that. And the hard mode playthrough should certainly be very interesting when using the Robot Masters. However, since we're on normal difficulty, don't expect large amounts of challenge. I believe the game's difficulty on normal is fairly balanced and in line with games like Mega Man 5 and 4, from my last recollection. Maybe closer to something like Mega Man 3, but regardless, it's not incredibly difficult.
So we've now reached the end of the intro stage of sorts.
And Justice Man is very confident that all the workers have been evacuated and the hostile robots. Then he is groped and effectively electrified. This guy is going to come back later. He's actually a Robot Master.
Which makes the nature of this fight somewhat confusing, which we're
Yeah.
going to see by the end. This big of it, it's a bit of a gimmick boss to start the game with. You can't actually attack this boss where he stands on either end of it, because he's actually too high up to jump to. You have nothing that can reach up to there at this point, but you do have these platforms which were demonstrated earlier in the stage, which you can reflect your shots on. Also,
And there is a safe spot, yeah. It seems to be on the very edge for either side.
Yeah, just as Evil pointed out, the platforms can be used as a bit of a cover point, since if you're standing on the very edges of them, the boss can't actually attack you back, or at least not hit you properly.
If he shoots his fireballs, you do have to dodge them, but he can't use his electrical rain to hit you, which is his most prominent attack from my memory. Alright, so to unlock Fireman, we have to beat one boss, and I am almost positive it is this guy. This,
that wasn't it? Or just as a kind of an interesting thing gets pointed out, or was pointed out, I believe, by Rome, if you look at your odd man's portrait on the actual title screen, as long as it's still visible, of course, every time you switch to a different screen and then come back to the Robot Master selection screen, it has a different portrait in there.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It really draws to his nature as a charades artist. So, we had a failed recording earlier where I left the difficulty on hard. This stage went a lot worse. just for
It was actually quite noticeably difficult, and it's like, this seems pretty unfair. If this is the normal mode, then I don't want to see the hard.
Yeah, this is a much more fair challenge, because I remember doing hard mode for Charade Man at one point, and it was pretty bad. So this section reminds me of Mega Man and Bass, particularly the Astro Man part, or the Astro Man stage with the platforms that move you up.
Yeah, I definitely can see that.
Because they also like to set them up near spikes, which is incredibly cruel, but I mean, whatever you want, right?
They can't make things easy, that's not how it works.
Thankfully, this level is pretty straightforward. I don't know how difficult Photon Man is, it's been a while since I've actually played this game, since this major update is actually very, very recent. Very recent. I believe it was this year this update came out that decided to expand the role of the Rock Force and make them somewhat prominent. And by somewhat prominent, entirely playable. So that gives you like 9 characters. Okay, so these things are kind of annoying if you're not cautious. I'm pretty sure they show up in all of these screens, yeah. Holy crap, that looked really impressive. I do have to
shoot
say.
them down?
You can shoot them, it's just where they spawn, it's usually not in a very good spot. Oftentimes you'll just want to move on to reach cover, I guess.
Burn.
I wonder if those little leaves could be shot to get power ups and such. I would risk it, but I'm at 1 health now. Okay, that was pretty smart, game. That was pretty smart.
Like 1 health, I need to move this carefully. Oh, I'm gonna drop a bomb spider on you. Okay, thanks.
Greatness. Truly, that's not really unfair, it's just funny. I probably should have
that level of dickery is saved till Wily stages.
Yeah.
In most of the games.
Or ROM hacks, if you want to count those.
Oh.
We've done stuff for those, and they've been interesting. I like the sniper
because
joke.
of certain ROM hacks is the reason why Evil refuses to play many stages on camera with me and involve Sniper Joes.
Yeah. And why I can't do the minus infinity recording that I wanted to do to assist him with his channel. Because, I did want to do a recording for it, but that required me to play it on hard mode. And that game gets surprisingly difficult on hard. Oh, even Dive Man becomes very difficult. This has got a pretty interesting solar power gimmick. And now we got spiders. You can think of them kind of like those prop tops from Heat Man stage, in that you can probably ignore them, take a few hits and whatever. Unless you're perfect running this, in which case you poor soul. But beyond that, yeah. This isn't too bad. Oh my goodness. I wonder why they picked a neutral color for him. Like, green isn't really an antagonistic color, but it's not really a helpful color either.
1 second, I can actually refer to something real fast. Let me get the program loaded. I have a feeling I kind of know an idea why. Now, if I can just get this thing to load a little faster. Go on. Not that folder.
So Photon Man attacks in pretty simple fashion. He's got a photon flamethrower, I guess you could call it. Works kind of like that, spreads itself out. And he's got this little burst shot.
Alright, I was thinking it may have been a kind of a contrasting color on the color wheel, but not really. Maybe it's just because it's still close enough to be a complementing color.
I suppose.
That's my most reasonable guess.
Alright. We defeated Photon Man. You notice the shutter on the right opened.
Yeah.
So not only do we get to acquire their weapon, we also take their prisoner. That they... And it is our great hero for the rest of this playthrough! Ta-da! So normally I'd be like, yeah, let's try this new weapon out in another stage of Mega Man, but nah. It's basically a screen nuke. So
We
we're
don't
gonna
want to
save.
nuke the screen. We want to set the world on fire.
Yes, indeed. Let's rock. So...
Let's remind me though, isn't in this game, basically, aren't there certain bosses you need to beat with basically perfect health to acquire some extra parts?
Oh,
That's my understanding.
I'm not sure.
Because I believe there's actually a requirement to get beat. You have to beat 4 of these stages, or 4 of these bosses, with kind of a perfect health at the end, or at least beat the boss with a full health bar, in order to acquire the various letter parts.
We're going... Which level do you think we should start with, though? I say Fuse. Let's do it. This is Fuse Man. He's strange. So Fireman has some very unique abilities compared to Mega Man. Obviously he has all the mobility that Mega Man has. I think he runs a bit slower, but otherwise his jumping and movement are average like Mega Man. He can slide, he can shoot. Ah yes, his attack is the atomic fire. If you hit up in fire, you get a little anti-air thing. And if you hit down in fire, you get a little boost in the air. You can only use it twice. And otherwise you can only have like 2 atomic fires on the screen at once. I don't know how strong they are, seem pretty powerful. But yeah, that's the gist of this. This is Fireman. He's going to be our protege for the rest of the game. There are no additional weapons, just fire.
This is the way, do you need it? Not really.
Yeah, you don't really
need anything else. You have fire and justice.
You can do some pretty neat level
skips.
skips.
In this game, no exit though.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I know what you need to do with post-op.
What would that be?
You need to add the power of fireman voice to this video.
Oh man, that would be fun. Like for every boss he beats, he has to. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yo, that anti-air shot is actually really powerful. Holy crap! These characters are...
his shots. He's actually quite strong.
Yeah, he seems to be very strong.
I think it's basically because of the nature of the shot, though. It might get stuck on some walls, perhaps, if it does get stuck that way. And you just have more limited shots.
Yeah, so it seems. You do have room for error with your... Oh. Oops. There we go. You do have much more room for error, too, in platforming, like that.
A good way to
no! I could have recovered from that, too. But yeah, so Fireman seems to have lots of really interesting ways to move around. However, he's not as mobile as, say, Elecman, who I've actually played with. He's ridiculous, Elecman. The damage he can do and the mobility he has is crazy. Oh god. The fact that it pierces is kind of annoying, because that can happen. Yeah, Fireman's pretty good. But yeah, Fuse Man stage is pretty basic. Not a lot to really say about it. I like the whole construction zone theme. Oddly Gutsman-esque, but not quite.
Probably related to Demolition, so yeah, it's probably supposed to be the same Gutsman motif. And if you were Mega Man, that would not have worked.
Yeah. You actually have a lot more lenience with level skips with this character. This... Oh god! That was reactive. I was like...
That was almost a thing.
Alright, we have a timer in these rooms. Oh! I tried to do the, downward shot. Then I realized I slid. I'm making a lot of mistakes, but it's fine. It's the first stage. I haven't played Mega Man games in quite some time, actually. But each character also feels quite different when you play them. It is quite magnificent how well done they are.
Last Mega Man game I can think of playing off the top of my head was just a test to make sure that the cart worked once I found working Famiclone on here. Was just to make sure Rockboard worked.
Ah, yes, you talked about that in a video, I believe.
And you want to know something?
What?
Still don't know how to play Rockboard. Not a damn clue.
Well, it is Japanese. Oh my goodness.
It was too much of a language barrier to get that to work.
So this
and
boss
I didn't happen to have an FAQ handy.
It's gonna be pretty difficult with Fireman, given that you only do regular damage, and unfortunately your shot isn't very fast, so you're gonna have to learn his pattern and outlast him. So Fuse Man does have a set pattern. His little explosive fuse thing kind of follows a set trail.
Doesn't exactly help that.
A bit fast.
The explosion stays for a while too.
Yeah. I think I might actually have to use Fireman's enhanced mobility for this fight. And an E-Tank probably. But mostly his enhanced mobility. Now if we were Elecman, we could be running circles around the thing. So he also can throw dynamite, and it can't hit you on the way down. I think this is still not as goofy as that Mega Man 8 Famicom Grenade Man fight, where it's basically impossible to not get hit. I don't know if I ever did a video just explaining why I never did him. Because I was planning on doing him, but then what happened was he actually has a way where he can set you in a pattern where you will get hit. Like, it's a guarantee. It's not even like, maybe. It will happen. But yeah, Fuse Man can be difficult.
It does remind me, actually, a video that I just saw just before we started recording of a Rockman Famicom hack, basically PC hack, that changed the graphics and bosses around, but made it so while the actual Robot Masters that were there were all different, you played as a Sniper Joe.
That's beautiful.
Apparently, and even in the default form, the Sniper Joe had a functioning shield format.
So now Mega Man gets all the credit anyways, but here's Bomb Man. Who we will be doing, I don't know when. Phantom Fuse is a very, very strong weapon. When I used it, when I did play through this game a while back, it was very good at clearing out large amounts of enemies, as shown there, with just huge explosion radius, and yeah. Next up, I think we're going to try one more before we close this part out anyways. And that is Virus Man. A very interesting design. I think he's meant to be sort of bacterial and infectious or some sort. And his stage definitely reflects some unsanitary conditions and disease. It's also significantly green, which I guess is better than being blue, if you catch my drift.
Yep.
Or all blue in one game's case in particular.
I understand the reason why, mostly because, to be serious, in terms of the NES palette, it has a lot more shades of blue
Color to work
than
with,
anything
yes.
else. But basically, the ROM hack I referred to was overkill.
We did play a ROM hack. I don't think the video ever managed to make it. Oh yeah, you can't shoot through Sniper Joe's shields with Fireman because of how big his shot. Well, you can do that! Wow, that's just depressing. There's still a way to exploit these poor men. It's
Don't worry, they'll get their revenge later.
I want that, but I can't get it.
Not with that particular Robot Master, no.
Yeah, I think you need an explosive to get those, and the only Robot Master that you can play as of that is... Okay, I think the double jump is going to be really handy in this... Oh, they reversed my controls. Right. Right, I forgot they did that. That was my fault. I'm pretty sure every enemy that hits you in this stage does that, or is it just them?
No, it's more than just them, I believe. I think the only one that doesn't is maybe Sniper Joe.
You imagine if on hard mode he did, though? That'd be pretty mean. Infection Joe? Like he just shoots, like, needles or something? That'd be crazy.
This is true, but it's still not the kind of thing I wouldn't want them to throw in a ROM hack. That unfortunately I don't happen to know anyone that has the ability to do it, because otherwise I have this one great idea. Set up a hard mode there, and if you take too long in the course of a stage, then you start having an incredibly mean-spirited Sniper Joes just start following you.
Oh god.
Trying to race from the beginning of the stage to wherever you are to fight you.
That's mean. But I wouldn't be surprised if Minus Infinity got that in an update, honestly. It's one of those ROM hacks that continually pushes its own boundaries. I think that's what makes it very impressive. If even just on a technical level, not even like on a game design level. You could argue that
the game is crazy with what it has right now, even.
Yeah, like, for ROM hacking, it's basically like the gold standard for how to make an advanced level Mega Man ROM hack.
It's basically take your standard variety Rockman game, start throwing in a ton of extra content, start stealing a lot of ideas from Kirby games, quite literally.
Yeah. Kirby games, other video games, jeez. Spark Manbo. For some reason they referenced that. Reference Bright Manbo, I believe, or something. Something of Manbo, which is a shmup game. And Bright Man's weapon is a direct reference to that in Minus Infinity. Quite strange. Toad Man referencing Final Fantasy. There's a lot to go by. and minus infinity. Uh-oh. Well. Oh, even reverses up and down. Put the fire out in his head, too, for a second there. It's messed up, man. At least the disease is temporary. Whoa! Almost fell there.
Yep.
Alright.
Good thing he has all those extra abilities to kind of move around.
So Virus Man is... I forget how he fought, but I know he uses the water pretty creatively. Oh my god, we have a weakness. Hello. Well, his attacks are basically useless in this fight. He hit me, but pretty negligible, I guess. Poor Sap. Can't do anything, apparently. I didn't know Virus Man was weak to Fireman's weapon. That's weird. Can you even think about why that would be the case?
Because, basically, if maybe if you're looking in terms of just general viruses and disease, in cases where you have excessive heat or excessive cold, they can't survive properly.
Oh yeah, like bacteria. Oh, I got perfect B parts. I don't know. Oh, because I didn't get hit during that fight, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's my best guess, actually, for a logical reason behind that.
I never thought of that, because the culture of bacteria is actually temperature sensitive. Alright! This recording is over, but next video we will be taking on Crypt Man and Circuit Man.